So I was in 10th grade, and it was December, and it was like the week before midterms. So it was review in every class, and also everyone had like been getting sick. The flu had been going around, and this year I'd gotten it, and it was one of those like stomach flus. So like I had been shitting my brains out for the past 2 days, and my mom knew this too. So she said, Maybe you should stay home. You've been shitting your brains out for the past 2 days, and you've been destroying the toilet. Maybe you shouldn't go to school. And I made up some stupid excuse for, like, that forced me to go. I was like, no, you gotta go. You missed this review class, not gonna do good on the midterm, then I'm not gonna be able to go to college. Because high school students think that you screw up in high school, it's really going to affect your college that much. I decided I'd go, and the great thing was that math class was the first period of the day. So I could just go in, get to math class, finish up the review, go home. And I told my mom this plan, and she was cool with it. So I went to school wearing like sweatpants and like t-shirt, and just decided that I was going to be as comfortable as possible, because I was already in pain. So go to math class, do the review, and go to the nurse's office, and I play it off as if this had just happened, and so I say, I'm not feeling so good, I've got stomach cramps, I threw up a little bit, can I call my mom and go home? And so they say, yeah, sure, sign in and call your mom. And so I called my mom, I'm like, Mom, I'm not feeling so good, my stomach hurts, and she says, oh no, honey, and she acts like she didn't know anything about this. So then nurse gets on, talks to her, and says, yeah, sure, come pick him up. And she says, well, I'm at work today, so I'm going to let his grandmother come pick him up. And we call our grandmother Ma. So Ma is grandmother. And so Ma's going to pick me up, and she's going to pick me up in the front circle, which is in front of the entire school. It's in front of the front steps, and it's like a circle pickup. It's getting picked up by your grandma. And so I go down to my locker, and I get my book bag, put in my books, close my locker, lock the locker, and I got 3 hallways until I'm out in freedom. And the whole time, I've got like stomach cramps. And like the kind of stomach cramps, you know that when you have them, you're gonna be shitting your brains. And so, clenching my butt cheeks, really tense, just gotta get 3 hallways down, and I'm safe. And so, getting up from my locker, turn around, it's this hot girl. She's from like my band class, and I play trumpet, she plays good shit. And so she starts up conversation. It's like, hey Chris, how's it going? Like, not good. I gotta get out of here, I'm not feeling so good. And for some reason, she decides to not let me go at that point. She decides that she wants to have a full conversation with me. I don't know why. I don't even remember what about. And so she's having this conversation with me, and I'm clenching my butt cheeks, and I'm like in pain, and it's really tense. Got the diarrhea, got the flu, talking to hot chick, need to get out of there. And also, like, my grandmother's waiting for me. So, and grandmothers, they don't like to wait. So I'm like feeling a little bad that I'm making my grandmother wait. So, talking to her, and I do this really stupid move that guys think will always work, but it never does. And you just kind of like, in your brain, you think, oh, this is a great idea, solve all my problems. But it never does. You try, and like, you got stomach cramps, and you're like, maybe if I let out a little bit of gas, it'll relieve pressure, and I'll be fine. I'll be able to tolerate this better. It doesn't work like that. So, sitting there, she says something, I'm like, yeah, that's great. And I try and relax myself, let out a little bit of gas, just like short burst. And I noticed that it wasn't a wet one that I let out. And I let out just enough that I was able to tell that I had just shit myself. Standing in front of one of the hottest girls in school. So, I'm standing there, and I tense up, and she notices this, And I played off like, yeah, just seeing if someone's over there. And so I'm wearing boxer briefs, so it's just kind of held there, right up against me. And so, I don't know why, but I couldn't get out of that conversation. And then I noticed the worst thing possible happened. It starts to trickle down my leg. And that gut-wrenching feeling, when my brain processed, this is trickling down your leg, I just felt a pit sink into my stomach. Luckily, I was wearing sweatpants, so it wasn't like anyone could see it. But still, I was like, I'm fucked. So, I don't remember how I got out of that situation. I must have, like, begged her to let me go. So, I know that there's a bathroom, a hallway, and a corner away. So, I'm moving as fast as I can, doing the penguin walk to hold it in so that, like, no more comes out and no more goes down my leg. And at the end of the hallway is an aide. We have aides. They're grumpy old ladies who make sure you don't fuck around in the hallways. And so she knows me. And I'm like, fuck, she's gonna want to talk to me about something. So walk down, and she's like, hey, Chris, what's up? And I'm like, shut up! And at that point, I am so screwed that I just take long lunge strides, and I just slam into that bathroom door with the side of my right shoulder. And luckily, there was one stall open, so I get into that stall, close the stall up, and release the sluice gates. I just let everything go. And so I do my business, clean myself up, but I got this problem. I got the underwear that's stained, and I have a few options here. First, what I do is I think that I can take a bunch of this shitty high school toilet paper and just dab it. Maybe I can either dry it up or get rid of it completely. And so I'm dabbing, it's not doing it. And so my other options are I could take some of the toilet paper and use the toilet water to moisten the toilet paper, kind of make like a wet one. And just like, maybe that would help break down. But that's kind of gross, using high school toilet water. I could go over to the sink and wash that stuff out. It's got soap. That's also, like, gross as hell. And two, someone's gonna come in seeing you doing your laundry. That's just something you never live down. I could put it back on. And I could, like, sag it kind of lower than it's supposed to go. So, like, it's not touching me, but it's still there. And for some reason at that point, I was like, I got it. I'm just going to take it off, put it in my pocket. I thought this was, like, a brilliant plan for some reason. Solved everything. But it's kind of weird. So I ball up the underwear, put it in my pocket. I'm wearing sweatpants, so it's like baggy pockets, so no one really notices. So keep my hand in my pocket, that way I can play it off like there's nothing there, and so that no one sees, like, you know, the gray Hanes band that, like, familiar. So I've got like 3 hallways until I get to the circle. And another thing is, like, the circle, it's like where everyone hangs out. People usually go there during their off periods or their, like, lunch period. So that's also a problem. So getting out, rushing down the hallways, trying to look as cool as possible, like nothing happened, but, you know, walking around in school in your with your underwear in your pocket, and, like, stomach cramps, and no underwear on, and you're in sweatpants, you can't be that cool. And so, get outside, see my grandmother's car, get in the car, put everything down, sit down, see. She's like, hey, honey, how's it going? I heard you weren't feeling so good, I'm gonna take you home. I'm like, thanks, Ma, it's been a rough hour. And so she's like, something really doesn't smell that great here. I'm like, yeah, cafeteria, you can smell it from here. And that was the day I shit myself in school in front of one of the hottest girls there.